Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Seer 365 session. This is a series of regular webinars that we run with our excellent ISV partners on Guide 365 to help showcase and explore challenges around the industry and what we can do to help solve them. As always, with these Seer 365 sessions, if you do have any questions, whether you're watching live or in demand, please put them in the comments. We will get notifications, we'll be aware of them, and we'll be more than happy to answer them either on today's session or by getting in contact directly as well. So, today, I am joined by a partner that has been a very, very close contact for a long amount of time. Very well known within the Microsoft space, and that is Tasklet. But today, we're going to be focusing specifically on the F&O side of what Tasklet can offer and how it can compare to some of the standard functionality that's within Dynamics 365 F&O today. I'm joined by the excellent Nima. Nima, I'll hand over to you without any further ado.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Rufus, and thank you for having us on this webinar. Really appreciate that, and thank you to everyone joining this call. I look forward to speak a little bit about the topic for today, and I'll just go ahead and share my screen. We're going to start with the PowerPoint first. But yeah, just to quickly introduce myself, my name is Nima Conrad Hamidi. I'm a global commercial lead here at Tasklet Factory, and I work with our offering for D365 F&O. And yeah, today we're going to talk about this topic here, mobile WMS, the smart alternative to the advanced warehouse in F&O and in AX. And so, excuse me, quickly, I'm just going to run through a short presentation of Tasklet Factory to those who don't know about Tasklet. Then we're going to speak about the interesting topic of the standard warehouse in F&O versus the advanced warehouse. Where do we actually fit in? Then, of course, I'm going to give a demo of our WMS solution. And then we're going to jump into the backend F&O and show you how with our tool you can actually make configuration changes directly in F&O. So that's the agenda. I'll just jump straight into it here. So basically, Tasklet Factory started in 2008, and we really started because we saw a need in the market for a user-friendly mobile WMS solution. And yeah, that's kind of our core product here at Tasklet, or basically the only product we have, our mobile WMS that integrates directly with Business Central, NAV, AX, and also F&O. We have 400 Microsoft partners all over the world selling our solution. We have 2,000 customers using our solution in 40 plus countries. And again, all these customers are Dynamics customers with warehouse needs, and customers who saw a need to basically optimize the processes in their warehouse by using a WMS solution. I'm working from our office in Denmark, but we also have an office in the US, which is supporting basically our North American customers and partners. We also sell hardware and advise our customers what devices to choose from. Good. But let's zoom in to the kind of topic for today, specifically mobile WMS for F&O. And there's like a $1 million question we get every time we bring up this topic here. And that's why even use standard warehouse in F&O when a barcoding solution is provided in the advanced warehouse. So to those of you who know F&O, you know there's a standard warehouse and the advanced warehouse. If you enable the advanced warehouse, you get that Microsoft Warehouse Management app. And yeah, this is a good question. And to answer that, I would say when we go to conferences, when we speak to partners, when we speak to customers, we still meet a lot of customers who do think that the advanced warehouse is too complex, too rigid. And yeah, there's definitely customers who would need that functionality you have in advanced warehouse, but we also see customers in warehouse operations where it is too complex and they're looking for something more simple. We've actually made this comparison sheet where we compare the standard warehouse together with Tasklet solution against the Microsoft solution in the advanced warehouse. And let me just make a quick important note here. The Tacit mobile WMS solution only works with a standard warehouse. But yeah, we've made this comparison. You might think that we're biased when we make this comparison. That's a fair assumption to say. But I can tell you we've presented this to many Microsoft partners who's used to implementing the Microsoft app, and they kind of agree with how we've set this up. But you can kind of make your own judgment on that if you know the Microsoft warehouse management system. Or we even recommend customers, well, then try our app, try Microsoft's app, see what's kind of a best fit for you, or at least get a demo for both of the solutions so you can make your own observations around it. But we made a super quick comparison here. I'll just use 1 or 2 minutes for that, and then we're going to jump into the demo itself. When it comes to the installation, installing the Microsoft Advanced Warehouse Management and the mobile app there is more complex. And typically, yeah, you'll need to set up things as work pools, zones, reservation hierarchies, wave templates. That's some of the functionality you have to set up. And that's the same functionality that certain warehouse operations, it's not a match for them. It's too rigid. It's gonna, not give them the flexibility they need in their warehouse processes. But you'll meet customers who actually need those things. So anyways, you'll need to set that up. It is a more complex implementation. We've heard different things out in the market, from hundreds of hours to maybe 1,000 hours to set up the advanced warehouse, of course, depending on the complexity. When it comes to the standard warehouse, it's much more simple to set up. And if you need things like, receiving against a purchase order, picking products against sales orders, counting products, those things, it can all be covered in the standard warehouse. And the implementation is quite simple. We're talking about some days to set it up in F&O, and then adding our mobile WMS on top is a 2-day implementation process. So it is more simple from an installation perspective. Functionality wise, there's of course things you only get with the Microsoft Advanced Warehouse. It's those things that I just mentioned, like the work pools, zones, reservation hierarchies, wave templates, etc. So if you need those things, then you have to go with the Microsoft Advanced Warehouse. But we also have things that you don't get in the Microsoft solution. For example, job registration. So we basically have an app, we call it manufacturing execution, it integrates with the manufacturing execution module in F&O, where you can handle job registration, register time on production jobs, how much you produce, start and stop, clock in and clock out. All those things can actually be done from the app. We also have offline availability. So that's a big thing that basically adds stability to the product, that even if you lose connection, you can actually still do a lot of your processes, even if you lose the internet connection. And then finally, license plate. We've added support for that, meaning normally you would need the advanced warehouse, but we've added support for that in the standard warehouse through our software, basically. So again, there's things we can do that Microsoft can't do, and also the other way around, of course. And there's more things that I didn't mention here, but this is just kind of like a brief overview.
That offline availability one, especially, like I don't know any warehouse that I've ever been to where they had perfect internet connectivity the entire way around.
Yeah, absolutely. So sometimes you have like a cold storage room or a specific area where limited connection, and if you lose internet, with another solution, it could mean you can't go anywhere with a solution. But here you get some stability with the offline availability. So yeah, definitely. Can you see my device right now? Maybe you can confirm that, Rufus.
Yes. Yeah, it's up.
Great. So what I'll do, I'm just going to give a brief intro to some of the features, how it works with F&O and so on. I'm not going to show everything today, just a little bit, to give you an understanding of how our solution works. So first of all, I'm logged in now to this device here. We can set up per user what they have access to. So if certain people need to do, certain features, or maybe you need some limitations, you can fully set that up per user. But I'm just going to start by going into my receive functionality. So the moment I click on receive, my system is actually connecting with F&O and pulling down any purchase order which is created in F&O and has the status confirmed. So I can scroll up and down right now on my scanner to see what orders I have. I can even click on my filter to change which warehouse I'm working from. Yes, so here it's showing me a list of the different warehouses. I can choose that. I can also click on the date here if I want to maybe look at future orders. Then I'll just select that and confirm it. So anyways, you can kind of set up your filter however you need to do here. Now, the main thing is receiving against purchase orders. And we've made something very smart here where you can actually just scan a product that you're receiving. So I'm going to scan this product here. And in that way, the system will filter the orders for you just by scanning. So the scanner found out that that product was only in one order, so it went directly into the order that I needed to work with. If the product was in multiple orders, it would then show you those orders and you can choose which one to work with. But now I'm basically inside this order here. I'm working against a specific purchase order in F&O. You can see that order number here. And I can, again, scroll up and down to see what are the items that I'm expecting to receive here. Once I'm inside the order, it's actually from here that I can work offline. So even if I lost connection right now, all the lines have been downloaded to the scanner, and I could, still do all my scanning, even if I lost connection at this point. But I'll just start by scanning my first item. So I scan the product. The system is asking me which location I need to place it on. I'm going to scan the location barcode. And again, kind of that location, it's coming from F&O. All the logic is coming from the backend from the ERP system. So I'll confirm that I'm receiving the 10 here. I'll scan my next item. I'll scan the location. And let's imagine here that I was expecting 12 when the order arrived, but there was only 10. So now it says 10 out of 12, meaning it's partially registered right now. And you have the orange color on the right side. It could be that, a few seconds later, I find the remaining 2. Then I could just scan the product again, scan the location, and my system knows here that it's 2 I was missing. So I'll confirm that. My third product has batch tracking here. So as I scan it and scan the location, you can see the system's asked for the batch number. So again, that's set up in F&O that this product is batch tracked. Again, our system will fully follow your setup in F&O. So I'll scan that batch number and confirm I'm receiving 15. And I do want to say quickly, we of course support GS1 barcodes. So if you do have a barcode that includes both batch number, expiration date, all those things, through one scan, you could collect all that information. So now I'm going to start my, I'll scan my item barcode and scan the location. And for this product, this is serial number tracked. So in this case, I will need to scan the serial numbers individually. So I'll scan the first one. I'll scan the second one. If I do make a mistake and scan the same serial number twice, I will get an error here in the scanner. So I'll go ahead and scan the correct one. Now the system asks me if I'm ready to post. For this part, I will, of course, need internet connection. So I'll say yes to posting. I can now scan my packing slip if I have it as a barcode, or even just click here and then type it in manually. And then click here. And now it's connecting to F&O. And basically, in a few seconds here, you'll see that it has posted. Yeah. Nice. So product received posted successfully. So that means in F&O, this purchase order now has the status completed and everything is updated against that specific purchase order. Yes.
So as that's driven by the data from the ERP, if you set up a new item or there was a new product, so long as that's set up within the ERP, is there anything that needs to be done?
No, absolutely. If you have any product that you set up in F&O, anything that's on a purchase order will come out on the scanner. If you have a scenario where you receive a product, you didn't set up the barcodes for that item in F&O, then we have a functionality called register barcode. It's just right here. where you can actually, you can register that barcode for that specific product. So you don't need to go into F&O and do that.
Cool. And
Yes.
We have had a question through,
Yes.
which is when completing a receive on a PO, how do you pull through the lot number of the item? I think this user has experience in BC. They say that lot tracking is automatic when doing a warehouse receipt. But is this something that's different within F&O?
No, it's basically the same. Whether if you're working with lot tracking or batch tracking, you set it up on the item inside of F&O or BC, and then the scanner will have that extra step that you need to collect that information. But like I mentioned, you can of course use GS1 barcodes to collect that information as well, so you don't have to go through the different steps on the scanner. And once you scan it and post it, that information is of course going to go into that purchase order, and that you receive this product with this specific batch number. So everything is being registered on the purchase order, and that item placed inside your warehouse at this point with that specific lot or batch number. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yes. Sure. So I'm going to go over to the picking now. So picking, there's a lot of different scenarios we support when it comes to pick. There's picking against, sales orders, picking for transfer orders, picking for production. We can even pick for multiple orders at the same time. So there's, different types of picks which we support. I'm just going to show a simple pick here. I'm going to go into this order that we have here. I'll click on that. Right now it's locked for me as a user, but you could unlock it if you needed more to work in the same order. And it is quite simple. The system asks you, where to go and pick it from. It says the location here, and the amount I need to pick. You even have a photo if you set that up. So I'll go ahead and scan the product I need to pick, scan the location, scan the batch number that I'm picking, and confirm the amount here that I'm picking. I'll then, let's make a mistake here, scan a wrong product. You see I scanned something wrong here. So again, that's the big value of having a barcode scanner, especially when you're picking items. Make sure you send out the right product. So by using a barcode scanner, you know that you have the right product in your hand. So I'm going to scan the correct product here, the Marabou orange, the location I'm taking it from, and finally confirm the quantity that I'm picking. So that's quite simple. I'm going to say yes to posting. Now it's connecting to F&O. And as you can see now, the order has been, the picking list is, posted successfully. So that was really quickly an example of the picking. Some of the other things that's really important in your warehouse is like counting your products, moving products around. So I'll just run through some of that before I also show in the back end how we can do configuration changes very smoothly. But count orders is a important feature, whether if you want to count your warehouse once a year, or maybe you want to set up, certain items you need to count more often or per location. You set all of that up in F&O, and it comes out as these count journals that you need to handle from the scanner. So in this case, I've been asked to count 18 different products. I'll just go ahead and handle one line now. I'll scan this product, scan the location that it's on. And then, it's empty. It's not telling me how many I'm expecting here. So I'll just count 80 here, and I will click post. So there you go. It says counting journal was successfully updated. So that means in F&O, it basically updated my count journal. It didn't, approve it right away. So the warehouse manager can see what I counted versus what was already registered in the system. If there's a big difference between those two, then the warehouse manager can ask for a recount. So that's how you handle this feature called count orders. It's basically counts created in F&O that's released to the scanner. You can also do unplanned counting. I'm not going to show that today, but it basically allows you to choose a specific product that you need to count. So it's more like an ad hoc count, you can say. We also have, great functionality around moving products in your warehouse. A very simple one is this unplanned move, where you just scan a product you need to move, scan the location it's on, say how many you're moving, and then finally the location that you're moving it to. So it's some few scans and then the quantity that you're moving. And once you've done that, the device here updates. Transfer journal will successfully update it. But we have something even more interesting that's unique to our offering for F&O here on the moving. We have something called unplanned cart move. It's something we've made, which is quite interesting because it allows you to move, we think, in quite an efficient way. So we have this cart system. I'm just going to select an empty cart, for example, this one here at the bottom. So I click on that. Now I have an empty list. And the point is really that I can start adding products to a cart. So I'll scan the product here that I want to move. I'll scan the location it's on. I will take, let's say, 3 of this. So now that's on my cart. I'll scan another item. Scan the location it's on. And we'll take 4 of this. So you can keep, building this list as long as you need to with all the items you need to, right? When you're finished, you can then drop them off individually if you need to, put 1 here, put 2 there, however you want to do it. Or you can click unload cart and drop it all off onto one location. So that's basically what I'll do. I'll click unload cart and I'll scan, for example, this location. So what I did now is I moved everything that was on the cart onto that specific location. So now my cart here is empty.
So what kind of use cases are you seeing the cart moves being used for? Is this where there's like a lot of bulk transfers happening very quickly?
Yeah, it could be, for example, you can even attach your picking orders to a cart, which is very optimal in the handling of the shipping process. It could also be that you finish some type of production and you need to move those items, from the production into your warehouse. Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of, instead of moving them one by one or having to create a movement inside of F&O that you then handle on the scanner, it gives you kind of that availability directly on the device. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. Good. Just a few more features, then we're going to show you a little bit in F&O. We have this thing called quarantine orders that we can support, but it actually makes sense to go into to locate item first, because what we can do is we can scan an item, quite simple, self-explanatory. You scan a product and then you locate it. You find out where do you have this product and how much do you have, and the availability is also displayed here. But something we can do is we can create quarantine orders as well directly from the scanner. So let's say we have these 301 marabous, but 10 of them look bad or something like that. We want to create some kind of quarantine. So I click here. I'm just confirming where the product is at, scanning the location. And then I'm going to say, all right, we're sending 10 into quarantine. And here's one of the cool things about the solution is the ability to add documentation. It allows you to open up the camera, and then we're just going to take a photo here. And then we can click on the check mark and add a text. Let's say it looks bad. So now it's creating that quarantine order for me. It's also adding the documentation, the photo, to that quarantine order. And now you can see it also, wrote down the number here because we have, 10 in quarantine. So if I leave this feature and go into quarantine orders, you can see the order I created. It's already here on the device. So somebody else maybe would handle that. So they could go into this order here. They could see the photo. They could see the text. They confirm where they're placing the good amount. And let's say out of the 10, we managed to save 7 and we're scrapping 3. So basically, directly from the device here, you can also handle the quarantine order. You can take a photo. You have that as a documentation. And the whole functionality around taking photos is not only available in quarantine orders, but throughout our solution in the receiving and the picking and the counting, wherever you're basically working against an order. You can use that ability of taking photos and adding it as a documentation. Good. I want to show you something lastly here. Like I said, there's a lot of features that I haven't shown you today, but we have a very powerful tool directly in F&O where you can make configuration changes on the device. So this is both interesting for you partners watching, but also customers who might have in-house resources. You can very easily configure the screens and so on the device. So in F&O, you have our mobile WMS menu. That's something you get when you install our software. You have the pages here. And the pages basically allows you to look up one of these functions here. So I'm going to look for the receive functionality. I want to make some changes there that I'm going to explain in a second. I'm going to look at the receive specifically. And some of the things you can change, I'm just going to enlarge this really briefly. You can do configuration changes. You can look at data sources. You can have a look at list designs and so on. I'm going to just go quickly to data sources, and then I'm going to do the following here, but I'll just pull back that screen. So the example I want to take here is, let's say in the receiving, I showed you very early on, we have an overview of the purchase orders. And maybe some customers would say, okay, the information we have here, there's a purchase order number, there's a vendor name, there's a requested receipt date. Hey, there's some additional information from F&O that I'm lacking here that I want to display. And we can add that very quickly. We'll go into here, the purchase table, we'll create a new field, and we'll say, okay, that field needs to go to display line number 2, that's somewhere around here. And the field we want from F&O, visible on the device, I'm just going to take, let's say, delivery postal address. We'll take that and we'll click save. So if you look at this line right here, I'm going to go into my menu button and I'm going to update. And if you see immediately, it added something there. Also on this line here, Entertainment System USA. We can of course make it look more nice with a header here with bold letters and so on. But it was just to give you a quick example of how quickly we can do changes that's immediately reflected on the scanner. So now I will just delete this field that I made. I'll click save. And again, if I go into my menu button here and click update, that then disappeared. So that's how quickly you can make configuration changes directly in F&O. We have a 30-minute webinar just about this specific functionality, which is very, very powerful. If you're more interested in it, you can watch that. I think that's what I wanted to show here. Some of the things I didn't show is our printing. It's how we handle production as well. Like I mentioned, we have this a job registration, and we have things around shipping as well and so on. But I think that's what I wanted to put into this webinar here.
No, thank you, Nima. I'm sure we'll get a link to that webinar as well, and post that in the comments for here. And I'm sure if anyone wants to kind of reach out directly, look to book some specific one-to-one time as well, you'd be the best person to go to about that?
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. So email is on screen at the moment for Nima. Do feel free to reach out via your Guide 365 customer success manager, or feel free to reach out directly. That's what we're here for. We've got a couple of minutes for a Q&A if there are any more questions. Just a quick one from me. You mentioned obviously the kind of the Tasklet partner network. The fact that you've got these clients all around the world. Could you share a little bit of information in terms of what collateral or what support is out there for partners that are looking to engage with Tasklet?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we do pride ourselves a lot in our support. Oftentimes when we do status calls with partners and so on, they're one of the things they often mention again and again is our support team. And yeah, we don't take our partners or customers for granted. So we have a very good support team, both in the US and here in Denmark. We use our service desk ticket where our partners can engage with our support, but they're always ready to pick up a call. We also have in-house consultants, BC and F&O. So whenever our partners need assistance there, we're also here to help them. Typically, we kind of show them how to do things, and they kind of learn also through our university. But yeah, we have a good support team here that's ready to help our partners to learn about the solution and get the help they need.
Absolutely, and that gets my personal recommendation as well. I've worked with the TaskLit team on a few projects in the past, and especially around things like what hardware to get. It's all very clearly laid out on the website. Even someone very non-technical like me could understand it and very quickly include it in an RFP or an opportunity. So it was excellent. Wonderful. So I don't think we've got any other questions just for the minute. But if you are watching on demand after the fact, again, please do feel free to reach out to Nima or drop any questions within the chat, and we should get some notifications and be able to get in touch as well from there. Otherwise, all that remains is for me to say thank you, Nima, for your time. Really, really good overview.
Thank you
and
for having us.
Really appreciate it. And we will be sharing some of that content both on the Guide 365 platform and on the links to this webinar. Thank you all. Have a great day.